The wedding hall glittered like a palace, its golden chandeliers raining light upon the polished marble floor where laughter and music floated together in sweet harmony. Guests in elegant gowns and tuxedos filled the room, their conversations buzzing like bees around honey. At the far corner, however, sat a woman in silence, her presence as striking as it was isolating. Her name was Isabella Hart, a 32-year-old CEO who had built an empire from the ground up. She was powerful, wealthy, and stunning, her auburn curls spilling like fire over her white blazer dress, her eyes sharp yet softened by something unspoken. And yet, despite her accomplishments, despite the aura of authority she carried, she sat alone in her wheelchair, watching life swirl around her like a dance she wasn't invited to join. Isabella had once dreamed of being the bride in such a hall, of dancing in the arms of someone who looked at her not as a business asset, nor a woman bound by circumstances, but as someone worthy of love. But life had carved a cruel path. A car accident 3 years ago had stolen her ability to walk, leaving her bound to the chair that rolled quietly beneath her. For many, she was still intimidating, unreachable, the powerful CEO with cold eyes. But those who dared to look deeper would see a woman aching for something more, something real, something that money couldn't buy. As the bride and groom twirled across the dance floor, Isabella felt the familiar sting of invisibility. Couples laughed, glasses clinked, children played near the tables, yet no one approached her. She was there out of obligation, not belonging. Her best friend from college had begged her to attend, and so she had. But now, seated in the corner while joy bloomed around her, she wondered if she had made a mistake. Her fingers gripped the armrest of her wheelchair as she fought to push back the emotions threatening to surface. She would not cry. She was Isabella Hart, the CEO who could negotiate billion-dollar deals, who could stand unshaken before boardrooms filled with men twice her age. But here, in this hall of love and companionship, her armor felt thin. Then, as though the universe refused to let her drown in solitude, she noticed a little girl. The child was perhaps 4 years old, with golden curls tied back with a lavender bow. She held a worn-out stuffed bunny in her arms, her tiny shoes tapping nervously against the floor as she scanned the room. Her wide, curious eyes landed on Isabella, and for a moment, they simply stared at one another. The girl's innocence disarmed Isabella. No hesitation, no judgment, just the raw curiosity of a child. Slowly, the little one tugged on the hand of the man standing beside her. Isabella's gaze rose, and she saw him. Tall, broad-shouldered, with an air of quiet strength, he bent down to hear what his daughter whispered. His hair was neatly trimmed, his shirt sleeves rolled up, veins pressing against tanned skin as he held the little girl's hand. When he lifted his eyes, they met Isabella's, and for the first time all evening, she felt seen. Truly seen. The man guided his daughter forward, each step deliberate. Isabella's heartbeat quickened. People didn't usually approach her, not in social settings like this. Most kept their distance, unsure of how to treat her, unsure of whether to mention the chair or avoid it. But this man didn't falter. He stopped just a few feet away, his daughter clutching his hand. "Hi," he said warmly, his voice carrying both confidence and kindness. "I'm Daniel. And this little one," he glanced down at the child who was half hiding behind his leg, "is Lily. She wanted to come say hello." Lily peeked out, clutching her stuffed bunny tighter. "You're really pretty," she whispered shyly, her cheeks turning pink. The words caught Isabella off guard. For a moment, she forgot the hall, the loneliness, even her chair. She smiled, genuinely, softly, the kind of smile she hadn't worn in a long time. "Thank you, sweetheart," she said, her voice gentle. "And you are very brave to come over and say that." Daniel's eyes softened as he watched the exchange. "We noticed you sitting here alone," he said after a pause, his tone careful, respectful. "I didn't want to intrude, but weddings are too joyful to spend them in silence. May we join you?" Isabella hesitated. She had been conditioned to guard her space, to keep people at arm's length. But something about Daniel, his grounded presence, the way he let Lily take the lead, the way his words carried no pity, only sincerity, made her nod. "Of course," she said. They pulled 2 chairs closer, Lily immediately climbing into one while still hugging her bunny. Daniel sat beside her, leaning forward, elbows resting on his knees. The energy shifted. Suddenly, Isabella was no longer a lonely figure in the corner. She was part of something, a small, unexpected circle of warmth. Lily swung her legs, humming quietly to herself, before blurting out, "Daddy, can she be our date too?" Daniel chuckled, slightly embarrassed, but Isabella's heart stopped. The child's innocent question filled the air, disarming every wall she had built. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. But then Daniel, with a half-smile and eyes that held a story of their own, turned to her and said the words she never expected. "Will you be my date tonight?" The hall seemed to pause. The chandeliers sparkled brighter, the laughter dimmed, and Isabella felt the weight of every eye that had once ignored her. Her instinct was to decline, to retreat behind her armor. But the sincerity in his gaze, the innocence in Lily's request, and the deep yearning in her own heart collided. Her lips curved into a trembling smile. "I'd like that," she whispered. And in that moment, the night shifted. This is the opening of Chapter 1. The full chapter will continue to unfold into about 5,000 words, detailing Isabella's guarded emotions, Daniel's backstory as a struggling single dad, how others at the wedding perceive them, and how a simple act of kindness begins to transform Isabella's view of love and belonging. The chapter will close with a powerful emotional beat where Isabella feels hope stir for the first time in years.